Sil, go tell him no speeding in the neighborhood. I'm on it.
Most of the mobsters on The Sopranos were reckless idiots, but two of them proved what a real gangster actually looks like.
Your uncle resents that you're the boss.
Sadness accrues.
Silvio Dante was, without exaggeration, one of the rare few who actually understood the job. While most mobsters on The Sopranos drowned in egos, personal vendettas, or plain stupidity,
Well, as your Consigliere, since you asked.
Silvio remained, more often than not, the portrait of a functioning Consigliere. Calm, patient, pragmatic, and dedicated to the interests of this thing of ours. He wasn't immune to emotion, but his outbursts were rare, calculated, and rooted in principle rather than impulse. That already set him apart from the parade of loose cannons he had to babysit.
Come on, Tony.
He offered Tony genuine advice instead of blind flattery, tempered the boss's worst instincts, and generally managed to keep his composure.
No, please!
The man wasn't in the habit of killing civilians either, unless one insists on calling Adriana innocent. Given her full awareness of who Christopher was and what life she'd signed up for, her betrayal was hardly a naive misstep. She wasn't guiltless, but Silvio's role in her execution underscored his defining trait. He followed orders with grim efficiency, no matter how distasteful. That's not to say Silvio was flawless.
It's anti-Italian discrimination. Columbus Day is a day of Italian pride.
The Columbus Day fiasco remains his most glaring moment of idiocy, though many point out it was originally intended as Polly's subplot. Either way, it felt wildly out of character. A clumsy writing detour in which the usually stoic Consigliere transformed into a sputtering patriot.
Don't forget. Oh, honey, your asthma kicking up?
And when he temporarily sat in the boss's chair, he collapsed under the pressure, literally, with an asthma attack.
Back when Jackie was at the end, he floated the idea of me stepping up to the big seat.
Even he admitted he was never built to be number one. He understood that sometimes the best number twos should stay in their lane. For someone so self-aware in a sea of delusion, that humility was, in fact, strength. Still, Silvio wasn't without contradictions.
Talk to Silvio! He gave the order, you stupid fuck!
His impulsive suggestion that Patsy loot Tony's construction site looked emotional, even reckless.
Got a call from Jack Mazaron. Mazaron Construction?
But rather than mere pique, it seems more plausible he was testing Tony's resolve, sending a pointed message about Christopher's elevation and how power was being distributed. His gamble paid off. Tony recognized the warning, and Silvio's loyalty ensured he faced no real blowback. For all his occasional missteps, he knew the game better than most. Silvio's moral ledger, of course, isn't clean. As manager of the Bada Bing, he wasn't simply a strip club operator, but a man presiding over what was essentially an indentured servitude racket.
Till you pay what you owe, that shaved twat of yours belongs to me!
Women who owed money, or simply displeased management, were treated like property, coerced, beaten, and loaned out as favors. His grip on these women wasn't different in substance from any pimp's, and while this is rarely addressed outright, it undercuts the myth of Silvio as the clean mobster. He may not have been a hothead or rat, but he was still a willing participant in the ugliest exploitation the mob offered. Contrast him with Mikey Palmice, who in his short tenure displayed a brand of competence that few others matched.
I got Mikey Palmice, all my crew out there, cracking heads to find out who did this.
Mikey was Junior's pit bull, ruthless, disciplined, and unwaveringly loyal. He wasn't flamboyant like Richie or unhinged like Ralphie. He was simply efficient, which made him all the more dangerous.
Fucking Mikey Palmice does their hits.
In his glass.
He orchestrated hits, executed orders without hesitation, and drew even Tony's begrudging respect.
He was going out to try out his new running shoes, you know?
His demise, mowed down while jogging, was both brutal and ironic, a soldier cut down at the peak of usefulness. Pound for pound, Mikey was one of the best soldiers the series produced, his brief screen time leaving a stronger impression than many who lingered for years. Of course, Mikey's end revealed a weakness. When staring down death, he tried to shift blame onto Junior. The so-called loyalist turned rat at the last possible second, tarnishing his image as the unflinching soldier.
G died taking a shit.
Compare that with Gigi, whose death by aneurysm felt far nobler than Mikey's desperate last words. For all his competence, Mikey ultimately cracked in the moment of truth.
I feel bad I was the messenger.
Where Silvio and Mikey converge is in their fundamental alignment with the mob's old-school ethos. Both were professionals in a universe dominated by egotistical disasters like Ralphie, impulsive degenerates like Christopher, or the permanently aggrieved Polly.
Sil, go tell him no speeding in the neighborhood. I'm on it.
They were soldiers of discipline, not theatrics. Silvio's genius was restraint, Mikey's execution. Neither chased glory, and both demonstrated the cold loyalty that defined Cosa Nostra. Yet, their limits also defined them. Silvio's inability to function as a leader cemented him as a perpetual number two, more comfortable whispering in Tony's ear than commanding from the throne. Mikey's loyalty disintegrated under duress, revealing that his ruthlessness masked a lack of moral spine when the tables turned. They were, in short, exemplary mobsters, but flawed men, like everyone else in the series.
How about Patsy? He's had issues. Maybe he's holding a grudge.
Silvio deserves credit for what he wasn't. He wasn't impulsive, wasn't reckless, wasn't a gossip. He listened more than he spoke, corrected Tony with tact when necessary, and rarely let ego dictate action. Even his infamous gambling streak was played with a surprising amount of discipline, suggesting that his calculated demeanor extended even to vices. But his role as pimp, his complicity in Adriana's death, and his collapse under pressure remind us that competence in the mob is not the same thing as decency. Mikey, meanwhile, represents the chilling efficiency of a true enforcer. Unremarkable, unemotional, and terrifyingly consistent. His lack of flamboyance made him lethal, and his brief run remains one of the show's most underrated portrayals of mob professionalism.
No chance to run!
His death was necessary, not only narratively, but within the logic of the mob world. A soldier that competent and that loyal to Junior could not be allowed to linger once Tony consolidated power. Ultimately, Silvio and Mikey embody the paradox of The Sopranos. The best mobsters are often the most quietly monstrous. They lack the theatrics of a Ralphie or Richie, but their competence, loyalty, and restraint make them far more dangerous. Silvio, with his sharp suits and even sharper counsel, epitomized the Consigliere who knew exactly how close to stand to power without reaching for it. Mikey, brutal and obedient, was the soldier every boss dreams of, until his loyalty cracked in the face of mortality. Neither man was glamorous, but both revealed the show's central truth. In a world of bungling egos, it is the calm, capable killers who are the most terrifying. They followed orders. You follow the button. Subscribe.